Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So yeah, just going to jump straight into more hot Micra content because I know that's what you're all here for. So in the debrief video we touched on the ride height issue to do with the arches. Now I've decided to tackle that first because it's technically going to be the hardest and longest job of them all to do. Plus I hate doing bodywork. You know, we've got just under 3 weeks now to get the car there, so I think by doing the hardest thing first it gives us the most time to get it done. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of all the stickers. Now I've already started on this side. We've got all the blue stripes gone. We've had to take the Haltech off the door as well because we're going to be redoing most of the decals in here anyway, so we'll just have to start from scratch on decals. Plus I really wanted the Haltech to be the biggest sticker on there and it wasn't quite big enough, so we can rectify that as well. So I've already got a head start on this side, but we need to continue and do this side. So yeah, we'll do a nice little time lapse of me taking some stickers off, which I'm sure is going to be very interesting. So yeah, I'm sure you'll enjoy that. So there we go, that's all of the stickers off both sides. Enough to do what we've got to do here anyway. Now the stickers have got to come off the wings at some point this week because we've got a very special guest coming down to us this week, who's going to help us shave some serious weight out of this car. Speaking of weight, I took the rear bumper off because we're going to need it off anyway because we're going to trim the bumper this time. But as well as that, I took it off. I'll tell you what, I can't believe how heavy that bumper is. There's got to be, I don't know how to say it really, but it's got to be, I don't know, 8 kilos in that, easily. In fact, I'm going to go weigh it and find out. Now, I wasn't far off. We're at 5.7 kilos. So I dare say that is a massive chunk of weight we can cut out of this. Like I said, we're going to trim the bumper about where my finger is along the swage line here all the way across, and I dare say there's quite a bit of this hefty crash bar that we can take out. So yeah, if we can lose 3 kilos out of that, fantastic. Right, so on with the task at hand. So now I've got the bumper off and the wheels off, I'm hoping you can see the sort of extent of the damage that we've been doing through lack of clearance of the wheels and tyres really. So my plan is we're going to start to cut out of this piece of fiberglass. We'll mark up our cut line, which will be the swage line here with fingers all the way around, and we'll take that piece out and then we'll join this inner arch to the outer arch. Now I'm hoping I've not got to put any steel in there, so I'm hoping to be a bit careful with the trimming. Hopefully I can just stretch that piece of the inner arch up to the outer arch and weld it all up. So yeah, I've got no idea what I'm doing. I think the best way to tackle these things is just chuck yourself in the deep end. So I'm just going to get the grinder out and just go batshit crazy. So yeah, that's the bulk of all that fiberglass arch cut off and on the floor. So yeah, we've got to do a bit of a clean up. Now the rough sort of cut I'm going to do is that if you peer behind here, we've got the old inner arch here, and that would be about there. So I think what we'll do is we're going to bring it sort of up here as high as we can and then sort of taper it back down there. So yeah, we're gonna start cutting the steel now, which is the bit I'm a bit worried about, but hopefully we can do it justice and get it done. So yeah, just come straight back into it and cut some steel out. as I said, baby steps. We're taking this one piece at a time. You know, it might mean little piddly bits like this, but it means we're not going to cut too much out in the heat at the moment and end up fucking ourselves over when it comes to putting it all back together. So yeah, I'm sort of happy where we're going. I've sort of realised my limit with the skin this side, so I'm just going to try and separate the skin. Oh, there we are, look. Come off just like that. So that's my end line for there, so I can end up trimming this piece down and hopefully with a dolly hammer get that over to here. And that's going to save us a lot of time and effort with that piece there. And then this piece we're going to cover right up here where my finger is. So as you see, I've separated the inner and outer skin, so I'm going to just cut out the outer skin to begin with, and then we'll see what we can do in regards to getting this inner skin on there. So yeah, it's not going to take as long as I thought this would actually. The hard part is keeping it in such a state that we've not got to repaint the car. Now luckily the arches are in gel coat black, so this is a different shade of black, but I'm hoping by the time we've got the livery back on, you won't really notice it, and then we'll paint it again over winter for next season. So yeah, I'm going to get back on the grinder and cut some more shit out. So we have made a hell of a mess, but we're getting there. So I've trimmed out as much as I'm there going to trim out of the outer arch. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a series of sort of like slits and cuts in this inner arch here, and then we'll get a dolly hammer and hopefully we'll get this piece of material stretched up enough to meet this lip here, and then we can start to weld it and everything. Now it doesn't need to look pretty, because obviously by the time you've got the fiberglass arch on top, you ain't going to see any of my handiwork underneath there anyway. So yeah, let's get the cutting wheel on and the dolly hammer out. Right, so there we go. We've managed to stretch the inner skin out with a hammer. Also, I'm going to have to fill these gaps up with some bit of tin, but I'm at a point now where I need to really start tacking these bits on as we go around, because obviously as I'm trying to massage this piece over here, look, it starts pulling down the rest of it. So let's get the MIG out, let's start tacking it as we go along. But yeah, it's coming along as I expected so far. No unexpected rot or anything other than what we repaired, or someone's repaired at some point down here behind there. But it's a race car, you know, we're not restoring it, so that misery can stay there. So yeah, let's get the MIG out and let's get on to the next step. And there we go, one tubbed arch. Now the welding's not going to win any sort of restoration award, but I think at this point with what we've hacked out of it, I think restoration spec welding is the least of our worries. So yeah, I'm going to consider that the driver's side done. Unfortunately it's about 9 o'clock now, so I'll order some paint and some seam sealer and bits and bobs in the morning, and then we'll get all this primed up, get it seam sealed, we'll get it painted a bit of black, and then we'll just get some Schultz underbody coating just to sort of seal it all in, and then we'll get on to the driver's side. But for now I'm absolutely filthy, I'm going home. So the next day,
the next morning.
so there we go, that's this side pretty much done. We've just got to wait for the undercoat to dry that I've put on. Now, some of you are probably screaming about me putting the undercoat on, but the undercoat hides a lot of the fuckery that I've had to do in this arch to get it to where it is now. Some of you are also going to be moaning about this unsightly line where the undercoat meets the paint. It's a race car at the end of the day. As long as it looks good, by the time we've got the arch bolted on over the top of it, don't really care. So all of this fuckery is going to be hidden by the arch that we're going to be bolting on anyway. So that's this side done. Now I've got to tackle the other side. So with this side we've got one extra challenge, and that is that this arch houses the fuel filler neck and a breather hose to the fuel tank. What I'm going to do, which I've done plenty of times before, is I've bought some cheap tea towels from, you know, the local bargain shop around the corner. I'm going to absolutely saturate them in water. I'm going to soak them through, and then we're going to wrap all of the fuel lines and stuff in here in them tea towels. It's not the professional way of doing it. Haven't really got time to remove the tank because we're on a massive time constraint at the moment. Done it many times before, it's fine. So yeah, just going to crack on with that now. Right, so that's the passenger side all welded up now. Again, we're not going to win any restoration welding awards. Can't make weld for shit, but we're doing our best. So just going to grind this down, and then we're gonna put a couple of coats of primer on it, a couple of coats of black. We're then going to put a coat of seam sealer around all the seams, just to sort of cover any pinholes that are inevitably going to be in there. And then we'll go over it with some Schultz undercoat, body, seal, whatever, and that should seal it in, and we should be sealed in for the duration, or well, the life of this car anyway. So need to go stop it rusting. So there we go, that is the passenger side arch tub complete. Happy that's come out. Looks slightly different to the other side because of the geometry inside the inner arch, but it's all good. The car's not on fire, we're still here. So the next job we've got to do is we need to put the arches on. Now, I do have the fiberglass arches that we were going to use, which are these ones here. But we have a very special guest with us this weekend, Ilya from Rusky Weld Fab. He's offered to come down and make me some carbon parts. So this will be a separate video. Obviously we've got a wing over there, we've got a bonnet over there. I've already fitted one of the wings to the car, but that's a separate video. We're not going to get into that in this one. Right, so I'm going to leave this video here. I was going to fit the arches in this video, the bolt-ons, but as you'll see in another video, there's a reason why I'm not doing that in this episode. So I'm going to do a whole different video on that. So yeah, arches tubbed, we've got plenty of ground clearance now, so yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.